looks like it'll miss most of the morning commute for San Diego County, with the exception of the North County. As far as the heavy rain goes, that's where we're seeing it mainly impacting neighborhoods just to our north. Coming down really heavily right now in Orange County, but meanwhile, we're starting to see some light to moderate activity at times in the North County, right along the 5 from San Clemente as you make your way down to Encinitas, along parts of the 76 and 78 now, and then right where San Diego meets Riverside from about Rainbow as you make your way down to Escondido. Overall, though, San Diego is trending dry, but if you're waking up in those areas to our north, you may want to leave time for travel as you head out the door. Everyone except for the desert areas are under a flood watch that went into effect last night and will take us all the way through tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. Here's a quick look at your storm headlines. Light to heavy showers starting in the North County will become widespread around noon. We have a flood watch for everyone except the deserts, and that could get upgraded depending on how heavy that rain gets to either an advisory or a warning. We'll continue to have gusty winds peaking this evening up to 30-45 miles per hour, targeting the foothills. And when all is said and done, we could get anywhere from 1/2 inch to 2.5 inches across San Diego County. We'll talk more about the projected totals where you live, and we'll also talk about how long this rain is going to be with us. All right, 6:07 is the time. Here's a live look on the 805 North right at Home Avenue. It is dark, it is cloudy, it's early. We're seeing a little bit of congestion as you make your way southbound, or northbound rather, in from the South Bay. Again, most of us are looking dry. That's good news this morning. I know a lot of people are back on the freeways, back at work and school. We have a crash that we're tracking in the South Bay. This is on the 905 East at the 5 split near the border. It's not causing any major slowing. We have a little bit of brake tapping through the mile of cars, but it's not going to set you back too much. Meanwhile, the 805 is at full freeway speeds. And the rain is already coming down in the North County this morning. We have Sierra Encinas, who is live for us right near the beaches of Oceanside. It was coming down a little bit at your earlier hits. I could actually see the roads a little glossy out there. So we are getting some drizzle, enough to cause a slick drive. How's it looking out there, Sierra?
Hey Vanessa, yeah, we do have light rainfall. We've been seeing that for the past couple of hours here in the Oceanside area. But what's really caught our attention this morning is these large waves washing up here on the South Oceanside Strand. Now, this area is known to see those waves crash up during high surf and flood this area here a little bit. As we were driving down the Strand early this morning, we saw walks washing up. We saw trash cans thrown around the Strand this morning. So if you are going to make your way down the Strand, give yourself some extra drive time and take it slow because the roadway here is slick. And with much of the county, including Oceanside, under that flood watch and high surf advisory, the storm is something that the fire department says the city has already been working to prepare for. Oceanside Fire says it's keeping a close eye on the high surf that this storm has brought us, and it looks like today's high tide will be in just about a half hour. The fire department says it has lifeguards monitoring surf conditions and a marine safety unit that's monitoring the harbor where all the boats are parked. Firefighters are encouraging visitors and locals to stay out of the water.
It's a hazard to their health and safety, of course. In addition to that, in combination with some high tides that we're expecting in the early mornings, we could have some coastal tidal surges along the coast, and we want to make sure that anybody that's along the coast or walking along our beaches is safe.
There are sandbags and sand available at El Corazon off of Oceanside Boulevard. Residents can take up to 10 bags home. They just have to bring their own shovel. As for road and land conditions, with the rain coming down, the fire department says that the city's works department has been ahead of all these storms, working to clear storm drains and make sure that flood channels are clear. Now, coming up in the next half hour, we caught up with some businesses who are ready for these storms to let up because they say that it drives down business. We'll hear from them in the next half hour, but in the meantime, take a look at these waves. Whoa, that one just washed up over the barrier there onto the Strand. So maybe avoid that morning walk this morning, and if you are driving down the Strand, like I said, take it slow. For now, live in Oceanside, Sierra Encinas, ABC 10 News.
Yeah, thanks, Sierra. This is not the morning to head to the beach. As the storm heads further south, some people in San Diego may want to pick up some sandbags. The city is giving them out today. They're available at the Encanto Rec Center, the Mountain View Community Center, and the South Crest Rec Center. There is a limit of 10 bags per household or business, and sand will not be provided. This morning, morning, people who were flooded in January's storm can now apply for federal help. President Biden approved California's disaster declaration, clearing the way for money to help people recover. This is for any person or business affected by the rain from January 21st to 23rd. The disaster declaration specifically mentions San Diego. FEMA will help with grants for temporary housing and home repairs. It will also offer low-cost loans and more. To apply, go to disasterassistance.gov. This morning, the now former Chula Vista City Councilwoman who's facing federal charges will be back in court less than 24 hours after she announced her resignation from the council. On Monday, Andrea Cardenas sent a memo to colleagues saying she will resign. She said it's to, quote, prioritize my mental health. In November, Cardenas and her brother Jesus were charged with a slew of crimes, including grand theft, money laundering, and tax evasion. Prosecutors claim those two falsified information to receive COVID relief money from the government. They then allegedly used that money for personal expenses. Both have pleaded not guilty. Meantime, voters in Cardenas' district say they're waiting to hear the verdict.
I wouldn't be able to trust her. So why vote for someone if you don't trust them, if you don't really think that they represent the people as they should?
Nobody is guilty until proven.
Cardenas did not say if she still plans to seek re-election, but Chula Vista Mayor John McCann says her name will still appear on the upcoming primary ballot for March 5th. All of those ballots have already been mailed out. A push to clean up drinking water all over the U.S. The president's new plan and how much it's going to cost. Plus, Cal State University workers have approved a new union contract. The new benefits they're getting after a strike last month. 6:15 on a Tuesday morning. This is a live look at Del Mar. You can see the high surf crashing into the coast right now. There are high surf warnings ahead of this storm, which is moving onshore. It looks juicy out there. Some mist coming down in Del Mar. It's raining already in the North County, and that storm is making its way south across the rest of San Diego. We are tracking all of it throughout the morning. It is now 6:15. Let's get you caught up on the top stories you need to know around the world. President Joe Biden says he is willing to meet with House Speaker Mike Johnson to discuss aid for Ukraine. White House officials previously dismissed calls for talks, but the recent fall of a Ukrainian town and the death of Alexei Navalny have increased pressure to send help to Ukraine. So far, Johnson has refused to take up any kind of vote on a foreign aid package that would include money for Ukraine and Israel. There are new details in the disappearance of an 11-year-old girl in Texas. Audrey Cunningham vanished last week while waiting to catch the bus to school. Police have now identified a 42-year-old man as a person of interest in her disappearance. He was arrested Friday in an unrelated case. Police believe he may have been the last person to have seen her. And in just the last hour, President Joe Biden announced nearly $6 billion to clean America's drinking water. The money comes from the Infrastructure Act. The plan sends money to every state and territory to expand access to clean drinking water, replace lead pipes, and improve wastewater infrastructure. It will also try to remove contamination. Vanessa Paz is here now as we watch the skies for more rain.
Yeah, I mean, it is coming down, but again, it's mainly just stalled in the North County, but it's a very slow-moving storm.
You say stalled. This is like just parked.
It's just parked, yeah, and it looks like Orange County is getting the bulk of the heavy rain. So if you have family, friends, maybe check on them, especially if they're elderly or vulnerable, because that's where we're seeing the most rain activity. Let's go ahead and start things off with a live look outside. 24 hours ago, we actually had drops on the lens from this camera. So we are waking up drier this morning than yesterday, especially across our coastal communities closer to downtown San Diego. Right now we're looking at current conditions, low 60s as far as surface temperatures go, and winds fairly light of about 5 to 10 miles per hour out of the southeast. Current temperatures elsewhere, most of us are seeing scattered 50s, close to 60 for a lot of the coastal and inland spots. We're waking up in the 40s for our mountain communities, so well above freezing. Low 60s in Borrego Springs and Ocotillo. TOLs. Just look at all that moisture, that rain hammering counties to our north. Meanwhile, for us here in San Diego, we are getting some light rain, moderate at times, especially in spots like Fallbrook. That's where we're having a nice cell push through. Also parts of San Clemente, so right where Orange County meets San Diego. And we're looking at light showers from Oceanside all the way down to Encinitas right along the 5. Now there's a lot more moisture where this came from. This low pressure system that's just been hammering most of California with rain is going to continue to move pretty slow southward, tapping into this atmospheric river. Just a plume of moisture throughout today and even tomorrow. And that will bring us rain widespread, especially towards the noon hour. So let's go ahead and roll out our high resolution rain cloud futurecast because things do start to pick up. They become heavy in the North County around 8:39 a.m. Then notice how a lot of that heavy rain, a steady band, will start to move southward, still heavy at times this afternoon, all the way until about 3-4 p.m. hours, so you can bank on a wet commute. A lot of that steady rain breaks apart, becoming widespread overnight, and then we'll have a secondary band of pretty heavy rain looking ahead to tomorrow morning, so right in time for that morning commute. So make sure that you're leaving time for travel, maybe opt to work from home or going a little later if you have that option. By tomorrow night, we'll collect an additional 2 to 3 inches or so, an additional inch for the south end and east half of the county. Coastal areas will be in the mid-60s all the way through Thursday, and we'll have high pressure redevelop and we'll inch close to 70 degrees by then for the coastal areas and for the inland spots. So Friday, right in time for the end of the work week, looking really nice, but then we'll have clouds increase on Saturday ahead of more rain on Sunday, especially for the coast and inland valleys, and that will actually be a little bit of a cooler system, so those snow levels could drop even lower than what we're expecting for tomorrow. Desert areas will be in the low 70s, close to mid to upper 60s on Wednesday, and then close to 80 degrees this weekend. All right, it is 6:20 on your Tuesday morning. This is 8:05 north. It's looking the horizon of the sky right there, that pinkish hue looking really nice. It's almost hard to believe that we're expecting rain. 905 east at the 5 split just near IB. We have a car on the shoulder that was involved in a crash, so look out for that. Zooming on into the South Bay, tapping the brakes pretty heavily beginning at the 54 through the mile of cars. Stop and go on the 805 in between the 94 and the 15 split. Jared.
One man is braving all of California's crazy weather on a bike. How he's using this long, cold trip to raise awareness for mental health. Plus, President Biden is bringing his re-election campaign to California. The president's plan to raise support and money later this week.
Skycam Views, sponsored by Carlsbad Solar.
Welcome back. California state faculty and lawmakers have approved a new contract with the university system. The union and the schools reached that agreement last month after a short strike at campuses across the state. This new contract will raise salaries by 10% by July and increase paid family leave. University officials say they were pleased with the results of the union approval vote. The deal still needs approval, though, from Cal State trustees. They'll meet next month. President Joe Biden is bringing his re-election campaign to California this week. Biden is scheduled to travel to San Francisco, Los Altos Hills, and Los Angeles. He's expected to hit up Democratic donors to raise money for an impending rematch against former President Donald Trump. Powerful winter storms that have slammed our state are no match for the willpower of one man who is riding his bike thousands of miles across the West Coast. Edward Hack rode from Oregon all the way down to San Ysidro to raise awareness about mental health. He's seen it all weather-wise on this ride, including January 22nd while we were dealing with floods. He was in a monstrous snowstorm.
That one was so cold that I had to close one eye and then the other eye to stop one eyeball from freezing.
That does not sound like fun, but Hack says the chance to help other people kept him motivated. He's promoting a new app called Soluna. It's geared towards people aged 13 to 25 who are struggling with mental health.
People don't choose when they have to go through a hard day, right? So when these storms were hitting us, we couldn't just stop. We had to keep going, and every single day was a challenge in itself, and that kind of represents mental health.
It's a great way to put it. The app is free. If you have anxiety or other mental health issues, it will let you speak to a professional coach one-on-one. The app also has videos and quizzes to help you de-stress. And remember, if you are struggling, there is help. We have links to the phone numbers for mental health and crisis hotlines at 10news.com. San Diego County's Migrant Welcome Center is closing its doors this week. Still to come, how local advocates plan to keep helping the influx of asylum seekers at the border. Plus, this week could decide the Republican nominee in the race for the White House. Joe St. George will give us a live breakdown on the edge former President Trump has over Nikki Haley in her own home state.
ABC 10 News at 6 starts now.
A tow truck crashes into a power line in the South Bay, causing an outage. What the driver says he did when he got behind the wheel that led to the crash. Plus.
And I'm Sierra Encinas in Oceanside, where we are seeing some light rain and we are seeing the high tide. Waves are crashing up over the strand here. We'll let you know how it's impacting businesses coming up.
Now, it looks pretty wet there. That rain is already pounding the rest of the state. The area is getting hit hardest overnight, and when we're finally going to get some relief. Good morning and thanks for joining us this Tuesday. I'm Jared Aarons. Melissa Masiha is off. We want to begin this morning with our weather. Let's check in with ABC 10 News meteorologist Vanessa Paz, who is tracking that storm that we have been talking about for days now. And Vanessa, I'm seeing that dark green and yellow band right next to you. That looks brutal.
That steady band of rain, I'm telling you, Orange County, Riverside County is getting hammered right now with moderate to heavy rainfall. Meanwhile, for us here in San Diego County, we're getting some rain, not at nearly as heavy, and it's mainly stalled in the North County. Light to moderate showers is what we're seeing, spanning from San Clemente as you make your way down the 5 towards Encinitas, parts of the 76 and 78 now, and right along Rainbow as you make your way towards that 76 interchange through Hidden Meadows. For the most part, we are trending on the dry side, but that's not to say you won't get rain where you live later on today. Here's a quick look at the storm headlines. Light to heavy showers starting in the North County will become widespread around noon, and a flood watch as of last night is in effect for everyone except the deserts. We will also have periods of gusty winds peaking this evening anywhere from 30 upwards of 45 miles per hour, mainly targeting the foothill passes and mountain communities. Here's a quick look outside from Payway's Coronado facing downtown San Diego. We're looking at mostly overcast conditions. 62 in downtown. We're at 56 in Kearny Mesa as well as Oceanside, 57 in El Cajon, and 54 in Ramona. We have rain on the way. We'll talk about the timeline and the projected totals and how long it's going to stick around all ahead. Jared.
All right, thank you very much. As Vanessa just mentioned, we're already seeing some rain, especially in our North County this morning. ABC 10 News reporter Sierra Encinas joins us live in Oceanside. And Sierra, these back-to-back storms are starting to have a big impact on businesses, especially because they need foot traffic and tourism, and rain is bad for both of those things.
Absolutely. I know we are all feeling the effects of the rain, and there is some light rainfall this morning in the Oceanside area. It's been coming down for the past few hours, but what's really caught our attention this morning is the high surf. It's high tide right now, and these large waves are washing up and crashing over the Strand barrier here. It's causing a little bit of flooding, so if you are going to be driving down the Strand this morning, take it slow. Try to avoid this area because you can see that ponding there. Maybe reschedule that morning walk for another time, and some businesses are expecting to see less traffic with these gloomy and wet conditions. Parlor Donut is on the other side of the pier, and it's a fan favorite around here with rich donuts and warm coffee. You can see yesterday morning when the sun was out, the shop was full and customers enjoyed their donuts with a beautiful view. But the shop's employees say that they're ready for these series of storms to let up because less traffic makes its way in during these rainy days.
Sad for me, honestly, because I really like interacting with the customers and like talking to them, being like, oh, what are you guys doing today? Like, do you have any special plans? And so yeah, it's definitely on rainy days, it's sad.
And the good news is that when the sun comes out, they do expect to see business back to normal. Meanwhile, the Oceanside Fire Department says they are ready to respond to people in need today, whether it's on the water or in the roadways. And as you can see this morning, it is raining. There are people out, but these large waves, Oceanside Fire says they're keeping an eye on it. They have lifeguards on standby. They even have a marine unit. Whoa, look at that wave there washing up. The high tide was just before 6:30 this morning, so these waves are fairly large and they are washing up close to the Strand this morning. So stay Stay safe out there, Oceanside, and I know that Vanessa said this rain is going to be pretty widespread throughout the rest of the day in the county, so be safe out there. For now, live in Oceanside, Sierra Encinas, ABC 10 News.
All right, thank you very much, Sierra. We now want to get to a story in Chula Vista that's been unfolding all morning. Hundreds of people are without power right now because a tow truck crashed into the trolley tracks on Industrial Road near Oxford and also knocked down some power lines. One man who tried to help had to be rescued after getting shocked. ABC 10 News reporter Danny Miskell is there now live. And Danny, thankfully we've learned that person who was shocked is doing better this morning.
Good morning, Jared. Yes, after I spoke with Chula Vista's Fire Battalion Chief Tim Meir, he told us that person was talking and he was responsive as he was being rescued. He has now been transported to the UCSD hospital. Now, you mentioned outages. I want to show you what the cul-de-sac is looking like here right now. So first, I want to show you the street lamp. The power is still out on Oxford Street. We want to zoom all the way down there. You can see there's traffic that's having to be diverted and turned around as SDG&E crews are working here. But down there you see that a traffic light is still out. That is Broadway Street. That's where Costco is. And when we drove in this morning, that whole entire intersection was dark. Now I want to go ahead and take a look at SDG&E's outage map with you right now. It's still showing that there are over 500 customers that are near Nestor, San Isidro, and Otay Mesa communities that are still without power. But you know, we're out here right now and we see SDG&E. They are working to restore the power back here. So we can expect, according to the outage map, that they are trying to anticipate power will be back on around 10 a.m. this morning. Now, back to the crash, we want to show you what happened earlier this morning. Firefighters told us when they arrived, they found a tow truck on top of the fence with the power pulled down. There was also a man on the ground beyond the fence near the tracks. These power lines were also draped over the MTS trolley power line. So before anyone could rescue that man, agencies had to wait for SDG&E to come and de-energize their lines. Then they waited for MTS to de-energize their lines and confirm that the railroad track would not be running through around that hour of the morning, which was sometime between 2 or 3 a.m. so that they could get to work on this. That was when they were then able to rescue the victim. And back out here live, I just want to show you one more time the remains of this, what remains after this crash. You can see the skid marks here. You can see the power line is still down right there on the shoulder of the tracks. I did speak to an MTS supervisor. He said that the trolley would be back up and running this morning, and it's already running. We just saw it within the last half hour. So the blue line is up and running on the main tracks, but this is just the shoulder track. You don't have to worry about this affecting anyone's commute this morning. Live in Chula Vista, I'm Danny Miskell, ABC 10 News.
All right, thank you very much, Danny. We could see former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley throw in the towel if her home state doesn't show up for her in the primary this week. ABC's Scripps Political Deputy Political Director Joe St. George joins us live right now from Washington, D.C. Joe, Haley has teased a state of the race speech later today. Is there any clue on what she might talk about or where she stands heading into Saturday's primary?
Yeah, Jared, you're a political mind like myself, right? You probably picked up on that cryptic language in the press release from the Haley campaign. And look, whenever a campaign sends something out, you have to wonder, is this the end? But the reality is that there is nothing that suggests that Haley's going to be ending her campaign today. And there's nothing to suggest that Haley's going to end her campaign after South Carolina, actually. She's continuing to raise money. She's held big fundraisers in California in recent weeks. She's held rallies in places like Texas in recent days. And that all suggests that this is a campaign that wants to compete, yes, in South Carolina and have a good day there come Saturday. But they want to go on to Michigan, which is a week from today. They want to go on to Super Tuesday, which California will be a big part of Super Tuesday. I suspect, Jared, that in a few weeks we're talking about California Super Tuesday and Haley and Trump battling it out and why Super Tuesday matters. From a math standpoint, former President Trump is still a ways away from clinching this thing. You need 1,215 delegates. He only has about 60 right now. It's expected he'll have a good night in South Carolina on Saturday. He's up by 30 points in the polls, but only 50 delegates are up for grabs there. So likely by this time next week, Mr. Trump has around 100 delegates or so. Again, still a ways away. The earliest that we've calculated that he would be able to mathematically clinch a nomination would likely be sometime mid to late March. Based on the current calendar. And as long as people keep donating to Haley's campaign, there's a number of donors in the Republican Party who strongly believe that there needs to be a Trump alternative in this race because of all of the legal conundrums involving former President Trump. So Haley's in this thing, and it looks like she's not going anywhere.
All right, the other big story in Washington right now is the budget, because here we are again. It seems like every month there's another deadline, Joe, for some type of government shutdown, a funding battle. Congress hasn't been able to get it together with funding for Ukraine or Israel. The border bill fell apart. Is there any hope that they'll get a budget together so that, you know, at the beginning of April, we're not talking about another government shutdown battle?
It's earlier than that. We could be talking about a full government shutdown on March 8th. And I think we can pop up the calendar and share with you why at least some people are raising this question on this Tuesday. Congress, the House, isn't back until mid next week, just a few days before March 1st. March 1st is when there could be a partial government shutdown. That's when funding for a few agencies run out, like the Department of Agriculture. A full government shutdown would be March 8th. That would impact members of the military. San Diego is such a military community. That's when troops could go without pay. Members of the Navy go without pay. This Congress has had a lot of fights on a lot of certain things, but they've always avoided shutdowns. They've come together in the end, pass a continuing resolution to keep government funding operational. That's what's expected right now, Jared. I don't want us hitting that 5-alarm panic button that there's going to be a shutdown just yet. I think we have to wait and see, but there's some important dates coming out that we at least want to circle and keep an eye on, because shutdowns can impact San Diego, certainly members of the military. There's so much uncertainty in Washington with everything that it's only natural to raise the question if this Congress can avoid another shutdown in the coming days.
All right, military families will definitely be keeping an eye on that calendar. Joe St. George live from Washington, D.C. As always, Joe, thanks for joining us. Rain and snow is washing away California roads as we get near record rainfall territories. The damage to one major freeway from unending storms.
Today's market update sponsored by California Coast Credit Union, improving lives in our community.
After a day off for the President's Day holiday, the market is kind of flat right now, especially the Dow, down just 20 points or 0.06%. S&P is down about 0.5% right now, down 30 points, back below that 5,000 mark. NASDAQ is down a full percent this morning as investors react to the news of Capital One buying Discover. Visa and MasterCard stocks have been falling a little bit this morning. Again, NASDAQ is down 164 points. All right, at 6:44 on a Tuesday morning. Let's get you caught up on some of the top stories you need to know around the world. This morning, the United Nations Security Council will vote on whether to demand an immediate ceasefire in Gaza. That vote is mainly backed by Arab nations who are hoping to show broad support for ending the war between Israel and Hamas. U.S. officials, though, say they will veto the resolution because it may interfere with efforts to arrange a deal between Israel and Hamas. That agreement that they're working on would pause fighting for 6 weeks and bring all remaining hostages that are being held by Hamas home. WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange will once again try to avoid spying charges in the U.S. Today he'll appear in a London court to fight extradition to the States. If the judge rules against him, though, he could be put on a plane to the U.S. in just the next few days. In 2010, Assange hacked into a Pentagon computer and leaked thousands of classified documents. He faces 17 espionage charges in the U.S. He could be sentenced to several years behind bars if convicted. Volunteers are preparing to give more help to people at the border as San Diego's only migrant center will close this week. County officials are taking funding away from the center to divert it towards flood victims instead. South Bay Community Services has been running the facility